Chosen one, divine update. They measured your potential by your past. They calculated your failure by their own limitations, but they didn't know about the quiet hours, the unseen sacrifices, and the direct alignment you hold with the Creator. They saw an impossible task. You saw a divine mandate. They counted your resources. You relied on infinite source. They predicted your collapse. God planned your construction. To the chosen ones, they looked at your raw materials and laughed. They measured your ambition against their own tiny horizons and whispered, "It is impossible." They don't have the resources. They don't have the connections. They don't have the pedigree. They don't have the strength. But they made a fatal mistake in their calculations. They calculated your future based on what human hands could do. They didn't know you were operating under a completely different sky. They didn't know you were directly connected to the divine. Listen, history repeats this pattern over and over again. Think of Noah. For decades, he hammered wood into dry earth. The crowd gathered to mock him. They called him delusional. They laughed at the massive structure rising in the middle of a drought. They calculated the weather, but they didn't calculate his connection to the Creator. And when the windows of heaven opened, the very structure they mocked became the only thing that could survive. God did it right before their eyes. Think of Nehemiah, standing on the broken walls of Jerusalem. The critics, Sanballat and Tobiah, stood at the bottom shouting, "Even if a fox climbed on that wall, it would tear down." They thought it was just a fragile pile of stones. They didn't know Nehemiah had a direct line to the King of Kings. In just 52 days, the wall was finished. The Bible says, when their enemies saw it, they lost their confidence because they realized the work had been done with the help of God. Look at Joseph. I really like the story of Joseph. Trapped in a pit, sold into slavery, locked in a dungeon by his own very brothers. His own brothers doubted he would ever amount to anything. They thought they had buried his dream, but they forgot that you cannot bury a man who is anchored in the divine. Omame. God bypassed the system, lifted Joseph out of the prison, and made him the ruler of Egypt. When his brothers stood before him begging for food, they had to look up at the very empire they said he could never build. Chosen one, your life is that empire. The critics are looking at your current struggles, your lack of resources, and your quiet season. They think you're finished, but the divine blueprint is already locked inside your spirit. You're not building by might, nor by power, but by the Spirit of the living God, the maker of heavens and earth. Let them mock the foundation. Let them doubt the vision. Keep your head down. Keep your hands on the plow and stay connected to the source. Very soon, the scaffolding will come down. The dust will settle. And the very people who projected their limitations onto you will be forced to stand as a spectator to your elevation. They will watch the roof go up on the very dream they said will collapse. They will see the business flourish. They will see the ministry grow. And the healing will manifest. They doubted if you could build it, but God is about to finish it. And God is going to do it right before their eyes. Yotago, good luck.